Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really profound way of looking at prayer. It's based on a mystical text that, honestly, it challenges pretty much everything we think we know about asking for something and actually receiving it. Now, most of us have heard this divine promise before, right? It's a real cornerstone of faith, something that brings a ton of comfort and hope. But a mystical text from October 2025 says there's a secret hidden inside this promise, a secret that completely flips our understanding of this whole sacred agreement. And there it is. That one little shift in perspective is the entire key. It suggests that the power we're always looking for outside of ourselves has actually been inside of us this whole time. So let's really dig into what that means. So this journey, it doesn't start by looking outward, up to the heavens. It starts by turning our gaze completely inward. It all begins with this foundational principle called marifat, which is basically divine knowing. And it says the only way to know God is to first truly know yourself. This whole path to self-knowledge is a pretty radical idea. It's not about building up your identity, but actually about taking it apart. It's this process of realizing that the ego, that I that we protect and defend all the time, might just be an illusion. And that leads to an even bigger, more profound realization about existence itself. So when that curtain of the ego finally gets pulled back, the mystic sees a single, unified reality. They realize that the life force that moves them, the will that makes them act, the consciousness that sees through their eyes, it's not their own. It's all just a manifestation of one single divine will. There's only one actor on the stage of reality. Now, realizing this oneness doesn't make you some kind of passive puppet. Not at all. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It reveals the incredible power and responsibility that you've been given. So, how does this power actually work? In this way of thinking, you're designated as a khalifa. Think of it like being an ambassador or a representative of the divine right here on Earth. You're not some passive subject begging for favors. You are an active agent, and you've been entrusted with the sacred and absolute power to choose your reality. This really shows the depth of the trust that's been placed in you. The text uses a great analogy. A wise father gives his child full responsibility over their own affairs. Now, if the father was constantly stepping in and fixing things, the child would never grow up, right? In the same way, the divine honors your choices without interfering, allowing you to mature into your role as a co-creator. Wow, this quote from the mystic Abba Anam really cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's like a spiritual wake-up call, a reminder that we've been given this mandate to steer our own lives. We are fully responsible for the reality we experience. So the big question is, how do we consciously use this incredible power? Okay, so we get it, we're the choosers. But how does it actually work? How do our inner choices shape the world we see outside? Well, the mystics describe a very clear, almost technological process for creation. Everything starts with thought, but a thought is like a wild horse. It's powerful, it's fast, and it goes wherever it's guided. And what's guiding that horse? Will look no further than what you see, hear, and think about all day, especially on those screens we hold in our hands. That stuff is building the algorithm of your life. But here's the thing. A thought, no matter how strong, is just potential. For it to become real, it has to pass through this crucial checkpoint, the heart, or the qalbu. The heart is like the gate of divine approval. It's the sacred space where a choice, a thought, gets that divine yes, and is basically stamped for manifestation. So how do you even know if a thought has reached the heart? The signal is rasa, or pure feeling. When you feel a deep sense of joy or peace or even fear about a thought, that's the indicator. That's how you know it passed through the gate and its manifestation is on its way. And, this is why so many prayers go unanswered. They're just words, just thoughts. They never truly get felt in the heart. So as this understanding gets deeper, as it becomes something you actually experience, a really profound shift happens in your consciousness. You start to move beyond that constant back and forth of life's opposites, good and bad, success and failure, pleasure and pain. See, the false self, the ego, it thrives on drama. It needs to possess things, and it feels deep loss when they're gone. It's constantly judging everything as good or bad. But the true self, it lives in this state of calm neutrality. It just allows things to come and go, watching the flow of reality without getting yanked around by that emotional roller coaster. For the person who reaches this state, who they call the Ārif Billāh, the one who knows by God. Life takes on this quality of being, well, profoundly ordinary. Nothing is a huge deal. A big success isn't cause for some wild party, and a big loss isn't a reason for deep despair, because they see the same divine hand moving through everything. Okay, so let's bring this all the way back around. With this new awareness, let's look at that divine promise we started with and see how its meaning is just completely, utterly transformed. At the highest level of this mystical understanding, this promise is no longer a conversation between two separate beings, a small self asking a huge God for something. When that illusion of being separate dissolves, something incredible is revealed. I mean, the implication here is just staggering. If there's only one existence, then the one who is doing the praying is inseparable from the one who is doing the answering. The act of prayer isn't a request you send out into the void anymore. It becomes the very process of creation itself. So your every conscious thought that actually enters your heart, every deep feeling, every deliberate choice, that is the prayer. And it's answered instantly because the creator and the process of creation are one and the same. You are the vessel through which the divine experiences and creates reality. And that, right there, is the ultimate takeaway from all this. This isn't just some beautiful philosophy. It's a call to profound responsibility and radical freedom. If every conscious moment is an act of creation, the question is no longer, will my prayer be answered? The real question is right here, in this very moment. What reality are you choosing to create?